So I have a 34-year-old son who has been ill for over half of his life. He takes medication every day to balance his life. If he did not take the medication, he would be hospitalized, possibly forever. He has a job. He comes home from the job, and either my husband or I stay up to help him with his medication. He is brave and sweet and wait on your table and be amazing. His life expectancy is shorter than most young men his age. And if I were to tell you that his illness was cancer, wouldn't you go, "Aw, poor guy"? If I said he was hit by a car and he's in a wheelchair, you'd say, "Aw, poor guy." But my son's illness is a brain illness, and it's called schizophrenia. And most of the time, if his employer were to know, which they don't, or if other people were to find out that I am the mother of someone with schizophrenia, I would not get awe. We have gotten judgment, blame, well-meaning but poor advice, being turned away from hospitals, being ineligible for help, having to make my son homeless in order to get him some help. And we go through what any family with an illness in somebody they love goes through. But you add judgment, blame, and stigma to that, and it's a similar story. My son, so we were talking about the power of one story. So Extra Innings is going to be an incredibly, when I read the screenplay, I was amazed. It's an incredibly powerful story. And just hearing Al speak, you see the impact of schizophrenia on him. My book, Ben Behind His Voices, tells our family story, because I believe that all the statistics in the world can't do what a story can do. But I will give you a few statistics. First of all, mental illness happens to the family. It is a family illness. It's not the family's fault, but any illness happens to the family. When undetected, it's the hardest. That was the chaos. Even when detected, it gets swept under the rug, a rug of shame and blame and stigma. But, there are a million ways to die, so the saying goes. You add mental illness to that, there are a million more ways. My son, especially before his diagnosis, wandered homeless in Idaho in the winter for 5 months. He ran away from a troubled teen program in 0-degree weather in Montana with only stuff sacks on his feet. He's been mugged twice. He has been arrested 3 times for misunderstandings due to his illness. If not for the love and support of his family, he might be where most people with mental illness who are still alive are right now, which is homeless, in jail, or possibly in a nursing home somewhere. Fortunately for us, we're lucky. We learned how to get help, we got educated, and we finally found out what was wrong. And if you ever read the book, which ends 5 years ago, it ends with my realizing that my son's life, even if he never works, even if he never gets married and has children, his life is worth living, he's worth knowing, he's worth loving. Your brother and sister, obviously so worth loving. You got so much out of your relationship with him. A brain illness does not make you not worth knowing. Thank you. And as a bonus to that, since the book came out, where my agent wants me to write a sequel now, he is working full-time as a waiter in a Ruby Tuesdays restaurant. He trains the new waiters. He has a car, which he leased without my permission, but okay. He has a credit card, and for the first time, right before his 33rd birthday, he said to me, "Mom, I finally have a life I'm not ashamed of anymore." Thank you, I'll pass that on to him. You know, I believe in rewiring of the brain. I believe that in neuroplasticity. I believe that the longer you stay stable, you can rebuild and dream and act on your dreams. And with the 4 cornerstones of recovery being treatment and structure and purpose and love, so far so good. When everyone says, how's Ben doing? I go, today's a good day, if it is. So today's a good day. He's been employed for 2 years, full-time. He has dental insurance. I can't believe that. And he has friends to go bowling with or play. He has game night. He has a life. If he were to stop taking his medication, he'd be back in the hospital perhaps forever, for forever. 2 days without medication. In his case, I've seen it happen because he's been in the hospital 8 times. So we tell our story because the power of one story can give you. Mark was kind enough to share with me the definition of HOPE as an acronym, hearing other people's experiences. Maybe you've heard that before. I hadn't. I thought it was brilliant. So wherever you got it from. But that's why you wrote your movie. That's why I wrote my book, to hear our experience and give you hope. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. This is the month where awareness of mental illness can hopefully prevent suicide. There's no guarantee. Anyone who has a sibling or a parent or a spouse or a child with a mental illness knows there is no guarantee. But I'm just going to end with my son's poetry, because he wrote a to-do list in the hospital, which I'm not going to read to you, but it basically said, start my own country in Africa, get anger management from my mother, write a book to cause world peace. He still would like to do that. But in his second hospitalization, he wrote a poem that says, slowly walking without a pace, wandering, place to place, search for niche and searching space, just to find that inner grace I lost before when I began to race. When my son's brain began to race out of control, that was the time we needed to step in and help him. We were lucky to find out eventually, after many false starts, what the diagnosis was. We were lucky after 8 hospitalizations to find treatment and structure and purpose and love that works. And we're lucky to still have him here. And we hope that our story and our story will help to save the many lives that you're trying to save. Thank you.